think there would be heavier security, considering who's in the room behind.
You'd think so too, but
And I also think we'd be in a more secure place, not just a fucking public
Lieutenant
hospital,
on
right?
deck. Oh, I hate that it opens outwards.
Lieutenant. Hi.
Yes, Emperor. How are you feeling?
Stop closing the fucking doors. I need to be able to slip in.
Security, am I right? Let's just have the door open. All right.
That could be better.
Like there's invisible fucking units that could exist.
You're lucky to be alive.
By the way, Nikita, in the lore, like cloaker units, they're still visible, but they have to sit really fucking still for you to not see them. So if they try to walk in the door, you'd see it.
That was a nasty shot. Okay. Unexpected too.
That's rude.
Why an attack in the capital?
The hallway
I
feels
wouldn't
cold.
know.
As if someone's left a window open. You can't see an open window for miles, or any windows for that matter.
Is the building...
I boarded my unit. The building has been recently secured. And I have also...
Tomoko, you examine your weapon and
I've
notice that it hasn't been racked.
ordered
You swore that you racked
my
it before
unit,
fucking
House
fully equipping
Hound,
it.
the House Hounds unit, with collaboration with the Nordland Guard that was there, to hunt down the insurrectionists.
You guys notice anything strange or something?
Well done, Lieutenant.
Glad I did, but it might be just other people in their offices at that time.
The doctor did say I should have a good recovery. However, this wound might take me off commission of doing things.
Fire doors, they close automatically.
Is it just you here, Lieutenant?
If they're fire doors and they closed automatically...
No, it isn't.
Doesn't that mean there's a fucking fire?
Who else is here?
Also, why would they close
If there is a fire, if there is
The
a fire,
Empress
you're
is
behind the
here.
fire door, so you're safe.
Yuki, she's here.
Don't you think it'd be
Yes.
safer if the doors open?
Bring her,
It's a fire.
please.
It's to stop fire from getting through.
Hands work, hands.
When the doors are closed, they seal the air away from the other room, so if it was a type of air gas, it will
Yuki?
burst through.
By the way, there's going to be use of screen space shaders in here. Nothing extreme, just stuff that's going to extremely distort your vision. So
Hello, my
just be
dear.
prepared for that.
Gotcha.
What's
How
happened,
much am
honey?
I allowed to close this? Is this okay?
The capital was
A
attacked.
little bit to like here, just so I can like slip in and
Rebels.
out as the invisible avatar.
One of them snuck in the building. They shot my collarbone. I'm fine.
Oh God!
Was it supposed to be a peaceful protest, or what the
I
fuck
faced
is
Honey.
death. I faced death before.
Dude.
I'm fine. The doctor
Oh,
said I'll
no.
make a full
Also,
recovery,
some
okay?
Guns. I don't know if that's very peaceful.
Oh wait, they rolled up with guns. Oh,
There's
shit.
something I need to tell you,
Yeah, the
though.
first two that showed up that got shot, they, like, immediately showed up.
Lieutenant,
Uh-oh.
Huh.
Yes?
would you please vacate the room, please?
Moontail, just let me know when you've got all your important dialogue out of the way, and if you want to move on to the next kind of keyframe.
My dear, there's a lot going on. I need to
Lower
tell
your
you something
weapon.
important.
Hold it at low rate.
What?
My bad.
I'm not sure. Oh,
Hey, was that door always open?
trying to touch anything.
Possibly.
What do you need to
You
tell
feel
me,
a cool
Dad?
breeze on the nape of your neck.
I
Alanis,
could have died.
Hmm.
I'm not concerned about myself. Right now I'm concerned about the Empire, but most importantly you.
And Nikita, you feel
There's
that
a
your
lot
helmet's
going
it's a
on,
little too
my
tight.
dear.
A sudden sensation. It's not
I
like it's
spoke
been
to
there
the
the whole
Shogun
time. You just started to
a
notice
couple
it.
days ago.
There's something fucky going on, because I did not just tighten my helmet.
What
It
is
was me and the general.
You're telling me.
We went to the
Right.
Shogun's land.
Don't mind me
The
making
marshal was
guards
possessed by the
biscuits.
Shogun. And the Shogun was sucking through the marshal's body.
I would go for a
Negotiating
front
wasn't
door, but
easy
then that would be
when it comes to trying to
fucking
solve the war
security
peacefully.
consuming.
Don't worry,
But a deal was made. I'm hoping
They
that
got it.
deal would stay firm. If I pull back the general's men away from their lands. And I thought,
And for what?
Muncho, you can't help but smell the very pungent smell of incense in the room when you notice there's a small incense candle in the corner of the room. Other corner, by the drawers. By the drawers. By the...
Mm.
that can't be a good sign. Listen. Ouch, that hurts. If we pull back the general's men away from their lands, there could be a peaceful negotiation and possibly end the war. But in order to do that as well, if the general will do that, I must get his daughter back. In one piece, alive. So, as I thought things worked out well, the marshal was semi-possessed, and he was ready to aim at me. Then he aimed at the general. Both of them went into a standoff, and there was a big flash. I remember waking up in a church. No one was to be found. It was just me. I might sound crazy to you saying all this. Do you take me serious, darling?
I do, dear. But it's unknown and heard of. Right now, you're gonna be under more security. And you can't trust anyone, even if it's your closest friend. You must keep your guard up. Because if someone tries to do that again, dear, I'll rip out their eyes, shove them down their throat, so they can see my sword, tear their carcass open.
When did you have a scary side?
Okay.
I understand that, but there's more to this, dear.
Don't worry about that.
Alright? At this church,
Such as?
I met an angelic being in that church.
Angels are usually a sight of no good. Same with demons.
Yuki, as you announce this thought in the back of your mind, the incense on the table audibly extinguishes. Smoke from the incense fills the top of the ceiling.
There's no
Just
windows
discreetly,
open.
as if it's kind of... No, but they are flowing up with cracks in the door.
This angelic being
It's not a lot of smoke, just a little.
offered a way to possibly end the war. They said a lot, Yuki.
They say
I can't really
when they usually say they will help end the war, that means more deaths will happen than expected or wanted. Do
Unfortunately.
not trust the words of it.
I know. I'm very iffy. I can't really remember word for word. I'm really weak right now.
It's best to rest then.
I'm having a lot of health issues now. With the marshal in general, I don't know what to do. I'm not sure how long I'll be
Hopefully there ain't.
I'm not sure how long I'll be out of commission. But right now, you need to take charge for a bit until I make a full recovery. Watch yourself. Be careful. Okay?
I will do my best.
Tomoko, you
You
feel
must
your
remember,
nerves
dear.
spiking as you feel sick to your stomach. For no
I
apparent
might
reason.
look innocent and might look weak or vulnerable, but I will not hesitate to cause bloodshed. Before I honor.
Something?
No. It just sudden onset.
Be careful, my dear. Be careful.
I will.
What the fuck is going on?
You better not be coming down with something. Because I'll be...
I didn't have it. I don't know what it could be.
Mm.
What the
What the
fuck?
Oh,
What was that?
What the? What? Hey, those doors were definitely closed.
Miss, can you please move out of the way?
I hear a voice.
Same.
The hell?
What? Identify yourself.
Can you stop moving?
Freeze. You freeze in place, Nikita. You feel as if you can't move, but you can't escape. Yeah.
What the?
Are you going to behave yourself? Unfreeze.
You sense the energy.
Chieftain Alexander Moontail. I hear you're in a bit of a tricky situation. And if it is not Mrs. Sayuki Moontail herself. Your husband trusts you dearly. I apologize for the appearances. I do not look very pure, per se. A couple of incidents scar a person's appearance. But no matter. I am the angelic deity that your husband speaks of. And it figured that he could require some assistance.
He'll recover in time.
He has a shattered collarbone now.
Which will take time to rest and heal.
That requires surgery, my dear. Surgeries are costly and dangerous. We can't have our dear Moontail dying under the scalpel, could we? Not to worry. For I possess the know-how to treat our dear Moontail. But there's a slight concern that I need to address, of course. Our dear Moontail is currently in a pending agreement with myself, and he wanted to get your opinion on the matter. Now, see, I come from a long line of, let's say, specimens. One of which specimen had an accident. And his employer was not happy about that. But unfortunately, he's not available.
That's why I'm here. To supervise this skirmish going on in this land. And I've needed and requested the help of our dear Moontail. Unfortunately, he seems to want your opinion on the matter, and a lot of matters for that, well, situation. And I do not blame his judgment, for you are definitely intelligent.
Why should we assist you and you assist us? There's always something with a dagger in behind each other. So,
Well, it's simple, really. Chieftain here wants to prevent bloodshed. And let's just say there are a few high-profile deities amongst your ranks that I have to look out for and keep an eye on. So, preventing the conflict all around has been my interest. And all I have asked of our dear Moontail here is a simple infestation problem. You know, a couple of people there, a couple of monsters there, disrupting the natural order.
even if it's just
Chieftain
not the natural
uses
disorder.
his resources to clear the way. I can just swoop in and deal with it. Saves resources on my end, and it means we don't have to send a legion of exterminators to do it. As I know, your people don't seem very fond of a bunch of winged beings flying in and, well, let's just say collateral damage has been a bit of a problem with them. So you can see where my concern comes from and why I have requested dear Moontail's help.
I understand, but even with that request at the end, we'll still be dealing bloodshed. As to getting rid of those, it will still cause blood shedding in places up here and there and who we have to deal with. So no matter what the choice is, both ends will still end in bloodshed. So how is that still fair? If there's still
My dear,
bloodshed.
it's not about the bloodshed, whether there is or is not. It is about the amount of blood. Have you ever heard of the philosophical problem known as the trolley paradox? You are lessening the amount of blood spilled, but you're putting your own thought and effort into it to avoid a greater casualty number.
How can we be so sure that you can actually keep your word and not twist it for your own desires and wants?
My dear, I have existed for millennia. Anything I've wanted has been already settled. Besides, well, a specific case. But we don't need to talk about that one, as it's irrelevant. If I really wanted to compel Moontail by force to do my bidding, why would I negotiate? Why would I spare his men at the door? Why wouldn't I just take what I want by force?
Because it wouldn't be fun for you. Would it?
Entertainment. You know, I kind of observed what your military leader does, and it's all about entertainment with that woman. I don't understand it. That's what happens when you give a mortal the power of a I don't even want to say deity, because she isn't that. She's a fabrication of what I am. These emotions are just completely beyond me.
So how will you be bringing the piece, actually? To give me the details on how that will go. If
Simple.
he was able to.
It is a simple matter of, well, it's hard to explain when it's outside of a mortal perception, but imagine a chessboard. This conflict, we'll imagine it as a chessboard. You can be the white pieces, and the shogunate can be the black pieces. You have to play by the rules. But I can sway the tide. I could give you more time on the clock, or I could turn your pawn to a knight, if you understand what I'm trying to emphasize.
I can. So that means you'll not just have to deal with the wars with the shoguns. That means you'll have to deal with any of the humans as well as they try to declare war to us demis.
You see, when it comes to the political landscape, and it is a headache to witness from up there. It's all, in the end, irrelevant. All that matters is who lives and who dies. And my goal is to make sure that the bloodshed for you and your, well, previous allies, and hopefully soon to be once again allies, remains minimal. For the most part, of course.
What would happen if the humans did try to declare war during the time we try to deal with the messes that you want us to deal with? What would happen then?
Unfortunately, for the human mortal areas nearby, they are rather defunded, and I do not believe that they'd be capable of launching a military strike. If they did, however, perhaps some armored vehicles get caught in bad weather and they have to be abandoned. Perhaps an aircraft can't fly due to a lightning storm, that kind of thing. People that say, oh, it's just bad luck, or it's a roll of the dice. I am the one who chooses what those numbers are, within reason, of course, as I have the people above me watching what I do.
And how long would this deal be if once done?
Well, assuming the conflict goes smoothly, I'll still be in your corner. But of course, there's no transaction without payment. And as long as you keep bringing me the people disrupting the order, then I don't see any reason why not I could be there in your corner to advise and give, let's say, an eye-in-the-sky view of the playing field.
Well, here's one more question then. Should we be concerned if these targets be anything under the child or a youngling?
You mean if a
The
being
target
that I
is a young
deem
one.
unfit for a mortal mortal and or immortal existence were to be a youngling. Now, madam, what you need to acknowledge is these are not soldiers, they are not militia. These are beasts, ghouls even, that disguise themselves. They draw empathy. They may disguise themselves as young, but that is not what they are inside. But that is a case-by-case basis. I cannot confirm nor deny what these beasts will do.
Do we have a time limit to when we have to get all these? Or is it as long as we're able to get them one by one?
It's as I locate them, you'll be notified of their region, security, that sort of thing. Of course, I can't tend to them all one by one, but as long as you're able to either deal with it yourself or capture it so I can attend to it later, that's what I'm looking for.
Then what would happen if
Since
we were to
our
fail?
dear failure is irrelevant in the grand scheme of things. Of course, if something slips away, it will always rear its ugly head later. The question you should be asking, and I understand that you're trying to, I suppose, insinuate this concern, is what if you were to antagonize me? Now, my dear, that would be a unfortunate transgression. But of course, I don't think it would come to that, now would it? As we are in a business deal of sorts. Friends, even.
As well will be quite irrelevant and unneeded, especially if we are in a medical field. Or anywhere in general that has injured or those who are not deserving the torment or pain.
Now, I will admit, dear, us divine beings are not without their own flaws. Mine is my pride. When it comes to your lower enlisted, they have not encountered a being such as myself, and as you saw when I walked into the building, they were concerned. They were scared, terrified even. Now, of course, I don't want to hurt these people unless they intend to hurt me, which, of course, a simple piece of brass hitting my, well, skin, I suppose, isn't going to do much. It's a principle of the matter. I will not permanently wound or permanently, well, let's say, demoralize these people, but perhaps a brand of sorts just to show them of the angelic hierarchy, perhaps. Nothing lethal, of course, just a symbol of sorts, like a sigil, even. I'm sure that's fair.
Indeed.
Now, if everything's satisfactory, and if you have any other questions or queries, please let me know. Since our dear Moontail is in any condition to make a agreement, I suppose you may have to suffice if he is alright with that. Once we have concluded an agreement, we can move along onto addressing poor chieftain's wounds.
Of course. So nothing will happen to him? No.
Of course not.
If you're helping us with the peace, would that mean some of the civilians and the innocents that live in this nation at least have some type of security of hope and safety?
The only thing I can do is sway the pieces on the board, my dear. If I were to leap down from the heavens, sword in hand, I would be strung up by a holy rope.
Fair enough. Then I will accept it.
Perhaps a handshake is in order to seal our agreement.
Of course. There will be... The only thing I ask, if this deal was only meant to him, will I be trapped in with it too? Or the other people that are under him?
I don't like to think that there would be any sort of entrapment, my dear. Any case, when it came to walking out of the agreement, as long as both sides are filled to satisfaction, I believe that there's no way of being entrapped. It is just until both sides are satisfied with the result, my dear.
So be it.
Now, on to addressing poor Chieftain Alexander Moontail.
Go.
Unfortunately, from what I witnessed, your collarbone is completely shattered, barely missing part of your lung. Now, if you are still conscious, which he is not, I will perform a little bit of, let's say, angelic sorcery. That, if you wish to witness, you can, but I will disclose to you that the witnessing of an angelic procedure might cause a little bit of paranoia, or I suppose what mortals like to call mental distress, as you may not be able to comprehend what's happening.
Then I will wait outside.
Of course. Chieftain Moontail. How about we fix that bone issue? Now, how would I deal with a broken collarbone? Perhaps a matter of not just fixing the issue, but preventing it from happening again.
That might be too long.
How about we replace your bones with a alloy of sorts? Now, what would be strong enough to withstand a heavy impact, but not poison your blood?
What are you up to?
Perhaps a mix of sorts, a mineral, if you would.
Fucking Wolverine abilities or something?
How about lithium and titanium? You might need reinforced muscles.
Oh, the other people that
I'm sure you can handle it. Hey, Swiftwaffen. Horse fight in this fight. I call upon the holy light of the seraphim to rise you from the grave and rise you through health and through death. You will seal the life of those who have fallen before you. You will rise stronger than before. You will rise to bring vengeance to those who wronged you. Chieftain Alexander Moontail, call out the name of the Seraphim. Call out your savior.
Some kinky shit going on in there.
Now then, good morning. As you will notice, you may feel heavier. You may need to exercise more to get your muscles into shape. Your bones are now denser. You will be able to withstand more blows. Please try not to test them too early, as they are still seeding into their roots.
What have you
At
done
least
to
the
me?
hospital staff can treat you then. I made you stronger, dear. Don't worry, you'll get used to the feeling.
Where's Yuki? Where's my wife?
She's outside. She didn't want to witness the procedure. Now, if you're going to stand, do it slowly. You'll feel heavier. Any questions for me before I go?
Don't worry. I'm going
What have you talking to her about?
Oh, simple. I told her what I told you. I asked her if she was willing to agree, as you wanted her opinion on it. She said she was okay with it, so I shook her hand, we made a deal on your behalf, and now things are going smoothly. I apologize for the sudden burst of information.
I will hope that we're making a right call doing this.
Of course. As I have millennia of information within my head, I've had enough experiences to know how to avoid mistakes. And that knowledge will then translate to you. If you have any questions about your war, conflict, or marital concerns, just ask me. I have enough information and I've seen enough to know. If that is everything, though, I will be taking my leave. Goodbye for now, Chieftain Alexander Moonfell.
Ah!